Hello, my name is Raya, and I'm one of the authors of Vagina Matters. I am working currently as a communications consultant for an NGO company based in Amsterdam, but I'm here in Sofia right now.
Hi, I'm Svetla. I'm a human rights campaigner. I've been working in the human rights field for around 10 years now, and I'm currently the campaigns director at Finact, which is a global creative nonprofit for social change. And what we do is we basically work at the intersection of human rights and arts. And Vagina Matters is was created and published by Finact, and together with Raya, I'm also one of the authors. So I'm the campaigns director there, and at Finact we work at the intersection of arts, human rights, and we use arts as an instrument to talk about human rights in a different way, to communicate more effectively around human rights and social justice issues. It's a global nonprofit, so we work all around the world, and we work with various different types of artists, from installation artists and photographers to illustrators, to find new ways, innovative ways to talk about human rights and to engage more people around issues that need more attention.
It all started a few years ago. Svetla and I were working together back then, and we really wanted to create something together because we were seeing some gap in this conversation in Bulgaria, the conversation about health, women's health and women's rights and sex education and all of that. So we started by doing research, and we found out actually that there is a huge problem in terms of early pregnancies. Bulgaria is one of the countries that suffers from this.
Like Raya said, we did a lot of research, and also because the book is to a large extent the result of our own experiences and our own the fact that we ourselves did not have access to adequate sexual education growing up, and of course it was one of our deepest motivations to start working on the book. Besides all the facts that we learned around and the results of not having sexual education in Bulgaria. And Raya said already about the statistics regarding early teenage pregnancies. Bulgaria, along with Romania, is the highest ranking in the European Union with regards to that. But there's a lot of other statistics around that. For example, Bulgaria also has one of the earlier ages for children who start to have to engage in sexual activity much earlier than in other countries where there are pretty good sexual ed programs, like for example in the Netherlands. There's a huge gap in those ages, in the average age of for sexual contact, for example. And kids also engage in a lot of riskier activities because they don't really know how to use contraceptives and so forth. And of course, the lack of sexual education affects all children, all young people. But we really wanted to focus on women's experiences, particularly women and girls' experiences, because we wanted to talk around specific issues that are still really taboo in Bulgaria, around menstruation, the female body, sex, STIs, and also to focus around things that are not exactly. We didn't really want to talk only about the negatives and the risks. We wanted to engage in conversations around body positivity and so forth.
Do you feel the book is helping girls, or how do you communicate about it? Do you have campaigns or anything to help young girls?
So for the moment, we've just started our campaign. So we've been receiving hundreds of messages from women all across Bulgaria, from very different cities, very different ages. And we're really seeing, I actually read some of the messages, I was reading some of these messages this morning, and I started to cry because they're really heartfelt, and what we're seeing, there's a common thread among all of them, and it's that all these women, for example, that grew up without sexual education and having a really negative attitude towards their body, and not really understanding their body, and not really understanding their own rights when it comes to sexual reproductive rights. And then seeing them how they want to make sure that their children and their daughters don't grow up the same way, don't grow up with the same experiences and like negative experiences that they've had. Mainly, we're trying to reach young women, young girls between the age of 12 and 19. But of course, the book is open. It is available for anyone who would want to read it. In the spirit of kind of like the solidarity and solidarity economy, I wanted to note that the book is open. So we work in an open principle. So which this means that anyone could reach out to us, organizations, activists, publishers in other countries that want to translate the book in their own language and disseminate in their own countries.